All right, there we go. We are live now,
Sweet.
live on
Awesome.
StreamYard. And all right, guys, welcome back to another episode of Triggered. This is crazy. Again, season two, multiple episodes, like we promised in the very, very end of season one, the beginning of season two. We're going to have more guests, bigger people, better people. It's just going to be crazy. So, um, once again, thank you guys for our special guests, Liam and Chris, for joining us. Quick story, and I actually mean this time, Zach. Um,
It's nothing's
long
quick.
story short, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah. Short story long.
yeah, me and Chris were friends on Facebook, and we were just kind of going back and forth with like some veteran stuff, this, that, and the other. And then one of our fourth Fridays up here in Middleburg, some lady comes up to us and I was like, "Hey, my cousin's son-in-law or whatever is like, or my son, I forgot what. Somehow she's like, yeah, you gotta message him, this, that, and the other. Hit him up on Facebook." And started telling me about it. I'm like, all right, cool, yeah, like give me his information. So I started typing your name in, Chris, and I'm like, oh, Chris, you're like, yeah. And come to find out, like I always tease Steph, I say, yep, cousins, we're
Yeah,
related. So
yeah, yeah.
across the country, we're still related. But I'm so glad we were able to get you guys on and get you guys onto this. I mean, it's gonna be a great time. So
Yeah.
Well, I just want to say thank you guys for having us, right? It's always an honor to be able to connect with other veterans who are heart driven and out there trying to make this community and this world a better place, right? That's really the goal ultimately for us as well. So, anytime we get to have a conversation, kind of share a little bit about our journey, what we've seen, and give a little bit of value to people, I mean, we're all about it. So thank you guys for the opportunity.
absolutely.
Yeah. It's definitely nice having other veterans on talking, like you said, getting their story, getting the story out. You trying to help other veterans as we do every day. Um, it's not easy. It's not easy talking about it. It's not easy. The way I look at it, I was never a little bit about me. I was never really about the VA, especially up here in New York. I've been to the VA a couple times, and it seems like that they're just there for a paycheck. They don't really understand. Um, they kind of give you like a blank stare. And when you talk to other veterans face to face, it's different. They get it. They're not nodding their head. So um, for me, it's nice to talk to other veterans, to other people that understand it.
It is. It is.
So I see we're all New Yorkers, which is another cool, crazy thing.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why don't you guys tell us a little bit about like yourselves, where you're from, and before we dive into this awesome pool that you guys have, like this deep end of just craziness, just go a little bit about like who you are, what you're from, the basic icebreaker bullshit, and say like a little bit about your service and what you did.
Take it away, brother.
So yeah, I had no interest in joining the military. I was 17 on Long Island when 9/11 happened. I was in college at that time, and I ended up seeing on Yahoo News because this was 2001, So Yahoo News was like the big thing. I was in my Visual Basic class, and I saw the first plane hit. Told the teacher. The teacher's like, "Yeah, no, it's a prank. That shit doesn't happen here." And so a little while later, ended up seeing another one, and then an announcement came, and we got evacuated. And so that was my trigger point for joining the military. I just knew I had to do something. And so when I joined, I ended up going intelligence. My recruiter told me, I have no idea what you're doing because it's so classified, but I bet you it's some real James Bond shit. I ended up being a project technician maintenance for the NSA on the Navy side.
Badass.
I had a lot of fun doing that. Got a little boring with the politics because when you're in that space in the military, everything is extremely political. And because we speak to high ups, being the NSA and stuff. So I volunteered for a lot of base beautification projects because where I was stationed, I was with recycled air and no sunlight. I was in a tunnel underground. So that's where I spent all my days during the week when I was on duty. So I'd volunteer whenever I could to get out of the tunnel to go do other shit. So I ended up getting hurt on a base beautification project. I've gotten a lot better with it now, but I was ashamed and embarrassed of that for a very long time. I ended up just hurting myself digging trenches, and I got hurt, and I do what all of us would do, where we push through that pain and we push through that pain. I thought I was just using muscles I wasn't used to, right? So I ended up going to sick hall when I had enough, and they told me, dude, if you would just relax, you would have been fine, you would have healed up, and you would have been right back to it. Now you have this forever.
Yeah.
So they discharged me for that. I spent many, many years just on the medicine that they gave me. I thought I was doing the right thing. Doctors know best. They throw pill after pill after pill at me.
Yep.
But towards the end, I was up to 240 milligrams of oxy per day prescribed by the VA.
Wow.
That's a lot.
Just one prescription. So coming off those was a real challenge. And when I went to the VA after I couldn't do it on my own, the first thing they asked me was, do you want us to get a doctor to go ahead and prescribe you some more of these so that you can stop the withdrawals? I was like, no, I'm trying to stay off these. They're like, no, but we can totally do this for you. It'll make you feel better, right? And they just didn't want to deal with me. So they sent me to the psych ward to detox. After that, pretty much just ashamed of myself at that point. I was the only single one in my family, so I ended up helping my parents move down to Tennessee from New York.
Good move, by the way.
Good move. I don't know. I'm not so fond of it. But I met a girl down here, and that's when everything changed for me. We started dating for like a month, and she was like, listen, I just got this job in Memphis. I know we've only been dating this short period of time, but hey, you want to come with me? I was like, fuck it, let's go.
Yeah.
So I had no idea what the fuck I was going to do for work. I figured I'd do something, I'll fall back to my strengths, computer networking and stuff like that, like I did in the military. So I applied for a job with Vivint Home Security as a technician to do installs, that kind of stuff. Turns out, whether it was mix-up or intentional, I have no idea. But I was put in front of the sales manager. You wouldn't know it now, but I'm a very shy person typically. And so me being that kind of person in front of a sales manager, being told that you'd have to go door to door to sell home security was kind of like, I don't know if I could do that, but fuck it, I've got nothing else going for me. So I took that chance. And turns out it was one of the best things I ever did. Now, fast forward to the pandemic. After all the struggles doing that and learning how to do it, I just got good at it. And then the country shuts down. I got COVID. So around that time, I reached out, started looking online because I knew there had to be some other way to bring my business, get my customers from online. And that's how I met Chris. And I'll let Chris take it away from there.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Great story, man.
Now I feel like I can't follow that up. I know how you feel.
Yeah, beat that one, guy.
Don't threaten me with a good time. Yeah, so like Liam, just mentioned, we met each other online. Liam and I actually only met in person for the very first time at a live event that we did last month in November. We've run this entire business digitally. I probably spend more time with Liam than I do my own wife on Zoom calls and building things behind the scenes. But again, that's the beauty of what we do here. That's the beauty of the skill set that I have, that I taught Liam, that we teach all our veterans. It's like you can build an empire from the comfort of your home with an internet connection, right? Like that's what's so powerful and crazy. But let's back up a little bit before I get too excited about that stuff. When Liam first met me, I had already been online for several years, but I didn't start online, right? So when I was 17, I joined the military. I didn't want to go to college, nor were my parents going to pay for it. So it was never going to happen. And with everything that happened with 9/11 and living being from upstate New York myself, the Catskill Mountain area, I just decided that the military was the best choice for me. And if I was going to join the military, I wanted to be a badass. So I became a scout. I wanted to pick something in combat arms. My parents very nicely convinced me to not just be a everyday grunt. Don't go be the 11 series. Like, just don't do that.
Kicking doors down and fucking screaming whore.
So, you know, I saw the cool recruitment video with the dirt bikes and all that. And I was like, yeah, that's the job I want to do. So anyway, I picked 19 Delta Scout, did my training, ultimately went to Fort Drum. That's where I was stationed, 10th Mountain Division, 371 Cav.
Oh.
Deployed to Afghanistan from there, and was hurt a few times, but ultimately 8 months in, received an injury that put me on life support and sent me to Germany. And then about 7 months after that, I was ultimately discharged from the military. For me, though, you know, that's where the real struggle started, right? Mm-hmm. I'm 19 years old. I have no college background. The only life experience I have is the military, and it's not very good, right? I've been living in the barracks for the last couple, it's not very good life experience, right? As you guys understand. And so, like, for me, I'm on 11 pills a day. I've got a TBI now, PTSD, anxiety, all these things I'm dealing with. So for me, life was over, right? Like, I literally accepted what the doctors told me, that I was lucky to be receiving a disability check and that I should just accept that and kind of move on, right? Like, that's where my life was. And I lived that, like, self-destructive, self-fulfilling prophecy for like 10 years. Where I was just medicating, destroying myself, destroying relationships, getting arrested, getting, assault, all sorts of different things happening. And, ultimately I got sick of it. Unfortunately, I cannot say they were prescribed to me at the time, but I was also on Oxycontin, much like Liam was, but his was prescribed. And I abused the hell out of it. And one morning I just kind of woke up and I looked at myself in the mirror and I didn't recognize myself anymore. And I was just like, enough's enough. We got to do something different. And checked myself into moved back to New York, got into a rehab, got myself sober, but I still didn't solve the problem, right? The whole reason I became a drug addict, the whole reason I self-destructed is because I didn't want to deal with me. I didn't want to have to deal with the survivor's guilt and all the trauma and emotions and situations I had been through. I wanted to run from them and not deal with them. And so I self-destructed. But now here I am sober, but I still have all this trauma I have to deal with. And it's like, what do I do now? Right. Yeah. So I was like in this like weird limbo state where like I knew I could do more, but at least I was doing better and I was collecting disability. So I was just literally getting high all day, smoking weed, watching Survivor, collecting disability, and just saying to myself, well, at least I'm not fucked up on pills. Well, at least I'm not drinking every day. Well, at least I'm not this. And everything changed for me the day my son was born. And it's like so cliche, right? Everyone says it. Like, I had kids and my whole life changed. If you have kids, it's not cliche because you totally get it, right?
Absolutely.
You look in that little kid's eyes and you're like, got it. Roger that. Time to fucking move. Let's go. And so for me, at that point, that's when it really started to like stir in me that like this was not okay. Like I couldn't just accept this anymore. And I struggled for a little longer. Good friend of mine wanted to start a business and asked me to start a mobile autoglass business with them. Jumped into that business, even though I didn't believe in myself at the time. I didn't think I could do it. Their belief in me was more than enough for me. Jumped in. We did really, really well in that business. The issue was like it's a service-based business. There was no automation, and I was a rookie. I had no idea what I was doing. So I literally spent like every waking hour of my life making sure that business was successful. Making sure we had actual windshields to put in, making sure we had new clients, making sure the vendors were charging us correctly, because you won't even believe how often they want to double charge you. It's insane. Mm-hmm. Like all these things that I was doing all the time. And I was literally sending my family on vacations without me. Like I had built this life for them and me to be in, and I wasn't even in it. I wasn't even able to be a part of it. Yep. And it all came to a head for me about almost 5 years ago now. My son walked into my office. I was doing work. On the computer like I always was, had YouTube playing music in the background, just jamming, getting stuff done. And he walked in and he just looked at me and he goes, "Daddy, why don't you ever play with me?" And I lost my shit, dude. Like just completely like full transparency. Like I just started bawling my eyes out. Like he didn't even realize the impact he had on me. Like just dropped the 20,000 pound weight on my head. And just walks out of the office because I didn't give him the answer he wanted. But here I am, like literally torn apart inside.
Like,
and
there it is.
Yeah, dude, like, I don't know. Like, I'm tearing my freaking hair out. Like, I got none left, right? Like, what happened? Where did I go wrong? I'm a multiple six-figure business. We own our own home. I'm married. Our children are healthy. We live in a good zip code. Like, why do I feel like such a failure right now? Why do I feel like I've accomplished nothing? Like, on paper, yeah, I'm successful. But if you were to look at me and ask me right now, I would tell you I have failed completely. And the universe, whatever you believe in, I'm not a religious person, but I do believe that there's a guiding force out there that's something bigger than us. I call it the universe. I believe the universe provided me with an answer. It usually does when we're aligned and we're listening. And so the music that I was listening to in the background actually turned off. And an ad for affiliate marketing, the world of affiliate marketing came on, digital sales and marketing. And I'm just sitting there. And, you know, we've all seen them before, and most of them are scams, and most of them are just trying to take your money. We talked about this before the call. Yeah. But something about this one resonated with me. Maybe it was just I was in such pain that I was looking for anything, but I took action. I took action on it. And I actually decided to completely switch careers, got out of mobile auto glass, and went completely online and decided I was going to become a professional digital marketer. That I was going to master the skills of digital sales and marketing. The problem is like, again, like I've got no education about that. I've got no nothing. So I had to buy an education. I had to buy a course. I had to invest in mentorship. I had to invest in myself to learn these skills. But the program I was looking at was $10,000. And I definitely didn't have that money just laying around, right? Like, yeah, I'm running a really successful business, but any real business owner knows, like, there's a lot of expense, and like this, not everything is just profits all day where we're just like Scrooge McDuck rolling in our bankrolls all the time, right? Like there's a lot that goes into
Facts, brother.
And so I just didn't have it. And so I ended up reaching out to my sister and asking her if she had any money that I could borrow. She ended up giving me $2,000. I put a down payment down. I had this amazing opportunity to get a 6-month interest-free loan for the rest of the money. Dropped it down, and I literally gave up everything in my life for 4 straight months. Like there was no more movies, eating out. Like if it wasn't spending time with my family, I was learning this skill set. And for 4 straight months, I did nothing but learn and take action, learn and take action, learn and take action. And finally, 4 months in, I was making roughly $7,000 a month just off of the internet. And all I was doing was driving traffic to affiliate offers. I had no overhead. So I'm like, this is amazing. But I was still holding myself back. I was still scared of what it would really look like to be successful. And I knew this. At this point, I knew this. So I had the opportunity. Part of that $10,000 package that I bought was the opportunity to go to a 3-day personal growth and development event seminar. And I went to it. And my entire life completely changed after those 3 days. I have never been the same. I moved on to become an actual facilitator of those events. I believe in them so much. But after I left that event, 2 months later, I started making over $12,000 a month. Nice. I made it all the way up to $30,000. This is profit. That's above ad spend. That's not, I'm making that, but I'm only making $1,000, right? Like I'm actually making that in profit right now. Right. Because again, I'm just driving traffic. It's an affiliate offer, so I have no overhead. So all I have is ad spend, and then everything else is profit. So I'm making about $30,000 a month in profit right now. I'm #1 earner in that company for over a year. I've made over $1 million online now, but I made $250,000 that first year just off that one offer, just in the first year of doing it. I got to have that privilege to go on the stage and get the big check and all that cool stuff. And it was a lot of fun. But ultimately, it was really lonely, right? Like I was really lonely. I had a lot of money and no one to hang out with. Like I had a lot of time, but no one else did, right? Like I had built a world where money and time were no longer an option for me, but I did not have a community of people who thought and lived the same way. And every single time I would reach back to try to pull someone that I loved and cared about up with me, they just didn't have the interest or the drive, or it didn't mean enough to them. And that's nothing against them. It's just they didn't want it, and that's fine. Right. But I would always just try. And finally I got tired of doing that. And I said to myself, there has to be a better way. And it was actually on stage speaking for the first time. I'm on stage, nervous as hell. I actually forgot what I was going to say for like almost a minute. It was embarrassing. But I'm on stage and there's hundreds of people in the audience. And as I'm on stage, the idea clicks in my head. I was like, well, if I can do this and I've got a TBI and I didn't have any money to get started and I had a bootstrap and literally like do more learning than I've ever done in my life in 4 months, and I did it. I pulled it off. What else is possible for other people like me? What other veteran is sitting on his couch right now saying to himself, well, I'm fucked. I can't go out and get a job. PTSD is too bad. I don't have I'm missing a limb. I can't go out and get a regular job. Like, there's so much that I started to think about while I was standing there, and I'm like, wait a second. Like, I'm only one of millions who could benefit from this. And so that's when the spark to do something for veterans, to build a veteran community of success, really started for me. But it wasn't until Liam and I linked up a little over a year ago that it actually it was more than a dream. It became more than a dream, right? And we were so fortunate that here in this last year, we've had people that believed in what we were saying, believed in what we were teaching, believed in us enough to take action. And now we're fortunate enough to have people like Chris Wilson, who's on his path. He's made over $20 million using our education this year. You know, we've got people like Joe Walters, who is literally in a niche that is supposed to be taboo and unmarketable, but yet he's still making money and getting clients. Same thing with John Ferry. He's actually expanded into 67 new dispensaries since starting working with us. And these are just a few of the names that we can mention of people we've been able to work with in the last year and bring up into what we call like the inner circle with us, where now when I stand around and I'm like, I got a lot of time and money, who wants to go do something? Now there's people around who can go do something. Right? Around who's got the assets. So
that's amazing, man.
Way around. That's how we linked up. That's how OVF got started. It was just trial and error, me trying to make my life better. And then I had this epiphany one day that, like, if I can do it, they can do it. And I just got to show them how.
Absolutely. That's awesome, man. I mean, Zach, I know you mean offline on this stuff before, but and listen, Zach has been there since day one, just like I was. Obviously, we started this thing, and it is like why resonated the mostly is like when you said you have all this like overhead. It is. I mean, how many times have we spent at markets? How many times have we spent taking time away from everything and inventory? So as most of you guys know, Stephanie makes the shirts. But me and Zach sat there, and Zach sat there one day and was like, how do you do this? Like, this is so tedious. Like, lining it up, printing it off, like, it's just crazy. And people don't understand the hard work behind that. You know, so that's amazing. That's just amazing.
It's just that, like you said, Chris, you got to have that drive. You got to, you know, you got to work for what you want. But yet again, like you were saying, it's lonely at the top. You know, it's lonely all the way up there, and after a while you feel it.
Yeah.
But I like the whole universe thing.
Facts.
You know, I have the same feeling. There's something out there that's guiding us. I don't know what it is. But it's amazing how things work. Everything happens.
They line up.
And it just makes you change direction on what you're doing. Once everything lines up, you sit down, you listen. It's crazy, but you got to put in the work to be successful in anything. You got to put in work.
Absolutely.
Nowadays, you know, what irritates me is everybody wants a participation trophy. That they participated in this, they did that. You know, to me, it's not about me with this Triggered podcast. It was never about me.
So I wanted to hop up.
It's about that fucking tongue, man. It's about everybody else. You know, I don't look for praise, anything like that. You know, I'm here to discuss topics. You know, people that are in need. We try to help them the best we can. Get
it's
help
bigger
for
than
them.
us. Yeah, Don, definitely stay on, man. We're definitely gonna be talking to you, bro. We're here for you. Like Zach always says, you know, you gotta look out for your battles. And every day, as you guys know, also as vets, every day is either a good day or it's a bad day. I feel like we never really have any in between days. It's either like really awesome or it's like totally shit. Yeah.
I agree completely.
You know, and Liam, I mean, your job, like you were saying, your MOS, that's fucking phenomenal. I mean, that's some next level shit. And then we go right down to Chris, like you said, man, 19 Delta, you know, boots on the ground. So you have that wide variety of just like, it's just amazing, you know. It's crazy. So I got about 5 minutes left on this segment. So what I'll do is I will cut it here, let this one load, and then we will definitely get into the book, the website, and all that because
Yeah, I definitely want to hear about the book.
Stories, yeah, your guys' stories and what I've read in this book so far has driven me to the next level. I mean,
I haven't read the book, so I'm gonna need to get that from you, Tony.
Absolutely, brother. This shit is phenomenal.
Donald, you read the book. What was your biggest takeaway? Let us know in the comments. Donald's one of our inner circle members. He works very closely with us. He's one of our star students. Very, very driven and talented young man.
Awesome.
He also has a very cool niche that you might really appreciate.
Yeah, actually, let me see if I can try to load. I gotta learn StreamYard a little bit more. I'd say I'd hop him on too. But that's awesome. I mean, just the diversity that we have here is amazing. It's so great. I mean, myself, I was a 92 whiskey, and that was water treatment, but I did fueling and ammo mainly. Obviously, they give you your MOS, and you really don't do whatever. You know, Zach, you came in as what? I
was a 91 Bravo, but I didn't touch a truck at all during my 2 deployments. So I mean, from time to time, I did, but other than that, they had their own. I mean, if anything else, they would send it over to us if it needed to be fixed, but half the time it was just hurry up and wait.
Yeah.
They threw a weird C school at me, which threw a wrench into everything I was doing. Because I was all about the computer networking and fixing electronics and computers and stuff like that. I love doing the installs. I like things that are simple, that follow rules. And if it doesn't follow the rule, it's obvious that needs to be fixed. That's just how my brain works. That's why I love what we do, is because everything follows rules that we can tweak and get it right back on track. But they ended up giving me physical security, which is not like MP or anything like that. It's safe cracking, it's CCTV security cameras and things like that, and motion sensors for the base and all those kinds of things. I actually ended up getting injured drilling out some of those heavy-duty skiff safes too. So
yeah, I mean, I'm not
not to cut you off, but Liam, it brings me back to how Tony felt, and like how he got hurt and how he felt, like shit, for getting, his disability, his all that. He was telling me a story. I mean, him and I sit and talk for hours.
It's great,
and it just, from what he's told me, you earned it. It wasn't handed to you. Yeah, he got hurt pretty much the same way at a field exercise, right, Tony?
I mean, it started out first in a field exercise. Just it was the weirdest thing doing a ruck, and 10th Mountain. I gotta say, I don't care what anyone fucking says. Fucking Ranger Sapper may be a little different, but 10th Mountain, you earn that patch. I don't care what they say. Your rucks are no joke. Your mountain, you earn that tab. And just first starting up, in certain fields, whatever. Tied my boots a little too tight one day and healed from that. No big deal, like you said, let it go. And then one day we were just running, doing a regular AGR in the morning. Foot hit a pothole, my knee blew up backwards behind me, and that was the beginning of the end. And I can show you offline because I saw pictures on my phone when I first got out of all the pills I had to take. I mean, it was really like 40, probably about 40 different pills every single day.
It took up half your counter at the old apartment.
Yeah, it took. Yeah,
Insane.
for ibuprofen every single day was a minimum of 7,200 milligrams. They gave me the oxys and all that other shit. Right now, even though it's still an addiction, the only thing I do is a little brownies here or there, but my alcohol, you know, I mean my beer, and I'm trying to cut that out, but it's coming from a whole pile, literally, of pills to almost nothing. Well, to 0 pills, and then just my own medicinal ways to handle things.
Yeah, but you and I worked on that though.
Huh?
You and I worked on that though.
Absolutely.
So I mean, it's
Definitely.
got from where you were when I first met you to where you are now. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a hell of a lot better.
Huge difference.
So,
Luckily, I haven't been arrested yet, which is good. There probably were a few nights where I probably should have, but people know how to keep their mouth shut around here, so that's a good thing. But it's just one of those things that it's like you say, you know, the anger, the shame, the guilt, and all this stuff. It really resides in you, and I'm very fortunate that you know, I have a great support system, not only with Stephanie, my own kids, but Zach and his family. I mean, I look at our family as we're no different. It's one big family. You know what I mean? Like Harmony here, she's adorable. I miss her so much. I actually taught her the knife hand, and then we do like the little like finger thing. Kind of guy. There it is. But it's amazing. So it's a great thing. Real quick, we're not recording on the radio yet. I'm going to hit in our segment. But I'm going to hit the latrine real quick, and then I'll be right back. Sean, I don't want to see what.
yeah, I gotta hit the latrine real quick too. Be right back.
But we'll be right back. All right, guys.
Yeah.
Promise.
Sounds
And Don,
good.
definitely, I want to hear his story too. That's good stuff. But when we get back, we will definitely get on your guys' story and do this, because I mean, you guys have some great stuff in this book, and you're in the videos and everything. So we'll be right back.
Are we just gonna be left live?
Just just like a drill sergeant, you know. No, we'll be right back. I literally take 2
I don't know anything about that.
It's nothing we're not used to, Liam. We're on live camera a lot. It's nothing we're not used to. No, it's fun to talk to other veterans, because here's the thing, like just having the conversation, you know, listening to Tony, you know, the amount of the medications that's the go-to, right? For most VA doctors is like, let's just force them to have more medications, feed them more medications, right? So it's like, it's a Band-Aid. It's not the real solution. And it's cool to hear, you know, in New York, it's rough because in Arizona, we can get medicinal marijuana card, which I have, which was the sole reason I was able to give the VA back 10 of their 11 pills. And here in the state of Arizona, the only medication I still have to take is my seizure pills, just so I can keep my license. But other than that, I was able to get off 10 medications from the VA because I have my medicinal marijuana card now. And what's nice is that we have such good quality CBD that I don't even have to use the pen most of the time. So
That's awesome.
There really is other solutions out there for veterans. Medication is not the end all be all.
No, I agree. I think
This is-
medication, the VA totally over medicates everything.
Oh yeah. Well,
They
that's
don't
because they make money off every bottle they sell. So the more bottles they sell, the more money the VA makes. It's an
Absolutely.
insurance game.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's actually why I'm going back for my medical assisting degree, because I know there's different ways we could treat people and treat patients in a much healthier way that doesn't include medicine. Like, for instance, just going outside and taking a walk. I hate saying it because my knee's all messed up and sometimes walking is hard, but going outside and just getting fresh air, that helps. I'm not going to say the cure-all, but like fresh air.
Yeah.
You
Yep.
know, it's just it's crazy. Yeah, exactly. Don, treat the symptom, treat the symptom, not the treat the symptom, not the problem. That's what the VA does.
Yep.
But I'm definitely all about that, man. Like different ways to do it, and I'm like as soon as I got the book, I started reading that shit, and it's been amazing. So I'm going to start the new segment in a second here. Because this shit's amazing. I want you guys to talk about that. All right, ready? All right, here we go. Second segment. Let's go.
One thing I wanted to add real quick was when I got out, I procrastinated. Like you were saying, you didn't feel like you deserved the disability benefits. I mean, I filed like 3 times. They kept losing it. And I was like, all right, that's my sign. I really don't deserve this shit. It wasn't for like 10 years before I finally got on them. And I was like, you know what? I really need this to survive right now until I can get back on my feet. And so that's what I did. But it took me 10 years to get to that point where I was like, all right, I really need my disability from y'all. And it was very hard for me to admit that to myself. It really was. I did not feel like I deserved it at all. And I see that you've gone through that same thing. So
absolutely. It took me about a year and a half to even get my 10th mountain tattoo done. Let me try.
He's so bad with cameras. Give him a minute.
I'm not technological. What's on this arm? But it almost took me 2 years just to be proud to wear that patch. Because it's one of those things that, like, you know, yes, I'm fortunate to have both my legs, you know, this, that, and the other. So I always think disabled vet as like worst case scenario, so to speak. But we have to remember that as vets, and even if vets are listening as well, which I hope to God they are even more so, you know, and one thing that Zach really drilled into me was like, listen, man, you can't hear out of your right ear. You can only lift your shoulder up to a certain amount. You can barely fucking walk. You deserve that check. And I was very lucky to link up with Veteran Guardians, and we're working on my 100% right now. So, but you know what? We did the time. We did, whether it's 3 years, 30 years, it doesn't matter. You put that time in. It's not like I was in basic or reception, I'll say, you know, and I stubbed my toe. I want 100%. Well, I'm sorry. That's where I got cut that shit off.
Yeah.
But, you know, we did the shit. So, guys, tell us about. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, Liam.
Sorry, I just said asked how long you were in for. I was in for just shy of 6.
3 years.
Okay.
10.
I think it was just shy of 3, like literally 2017 to 2020. So,
yeah.
Chris, how long were you in?
It was 2 years, 4 months before I was discharged. Yeah.
Good shit. 8 for Don. Okay.
Yeah. He was scuba. He did scuba and.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Good shit. I dabbled in the Navy a little bit. I want to see what that life was about. And those guys are no joke. I don't care what anyone says. Navy is no joke.
No, I mean we all dog on each other because it's fun, but
you got
at the end of the day, it takes every single one of us to win a war. So.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So
yeah, guys,
it's easier a Marine could read it. So there's that.
And we know because we've had one read it.
So he proofreaded it for us.
Yeah.
Look at this beautiful book. I like look. Just that alone wants me to read it. You know, don't judge the book by its cover, but I did, and this is phenomenal.
Yeah.
So, guys, definitely pick this up if you're seeing this. DD214 Secrets by Chris and Liam. If you guys are listening on Anchor, Spotify, whatever, but it literally has, I mean, shit you cannot learn in everyday life. I'll tell you that right now. Some of the stuff I knew beforehand, just from listening to different speakers like Warren Buffett, Dan Pena, Eric Thomas, E.T., as we know him, you know, just a lot of these great speakers like that, Tony Robinson, things like that. But I'll tell you what, this year, Barney style. If you follow this, you cannot mess up. If you mess up, it's on your own. I mean, it's that simple. Guys, can you just fill us in a little bit without giving too much away of what is in this book and what is in your classes?
Yeah. So I'm glad that I'm really like happy that you brought up Barney style because like that's our number one thing. is like the information that we share with people is not new information. Like you said, we didn't invent this stuff. But what we're finding that we're gifted at doing is breaking it down so simple that it's digestible and easy to take action on. Right. And that was one of the big things and one of the driving forces behind why this book was even written in the first place. Is we launched OVF a little over a year ago. Completely online company, online community. We were focusing on teaching veterans affiliate marketing because they didn't have to have a product. It was kind of lowest barrier of entry. It was where I had made my most money online. It just made a lot of sense, right?
Right.
The issue we ran into was that everyone associated us with pyramid schemes, with get rich quick schemes, with all this other stuff that's out there. And so we were like, okay, well, we need to switch gears and we need to have a physical product that is owned by our company. Otherwise, they're never going to take us seriously. So we launched our first coaching program. That's how we have the 20 million and everybody that we talked about a little bit earlier. Like that's how we have our real first success stories were the people that went through our first coaching program that we launched. So we knew that we had a skill set that could be duplicated, could be applied over and over again to any niche to create success. The gap we were having was not enough people trusted it and not enough people believed in themselves. And so we have a community of over 2,600 veterans who some of them are business owners, some of them are aspiring to be, but there was a gap. There was this bridge, this chasm, if you will, that we were trying to gap. How do we get more veterans to take it seriously and actually take action to get a result to become the next success story? Like, what do we do here? And so we decided that we were going to literally lay it out. Like, what would we need to do to start a business? Like, if we were to have nothing, like we got rid of all of our assets, we had no following, we had no marketing assets, we had nothing. What steps would we need to take from beginning to end to launch a successful business online? And what ended up happening was through that process, we realized that the core fundamentals, the things that are like universal laws that will allow you to have success, have nothing to do with the business itself. It has everything to do with you and your customer.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I couldn't agree 100% more.
And so this book, right, people get confused, like, as we talk about business, like in the book, but the book is so much more than a business book. Because what the book does is helps you refine purpose, passion, and mission after you get out of service. And that's the number one thing we lose when we ultimately take off the uniform. We no longer have a mission. We no longer have our unit. We no longer have the brotherhood, the camaraderie, the schedule, like that tight-knit life that we were living for so long. We lose that. And it almost becomes that we have so many options that we get overwhelmed and choose none. And so what this book does is it just gets rid of all the extra noise, gets rid of all the extra confusion, and allows anybody, especially a veteran, sit down and get really, really clear on what they want out of life, what lights their fire, and then we show you a bulletproof Barney-style plan to actually build that business. And so that's what we do. The book walks you through 5 core secrets that you need to know in life to even start a business. This is like, whether you own a business now or you're thinking about owning one, you need to go through these and make sure you have them locked down, because if you do not, you are building a castle on sand and eventually it will crumble. You need to know these things. And then when you're ready to actually build a business and do these things, we have tons of assets inside of our free Facebook group. We have paid courses that we do. We have mentorship. We have all sorts of stuff that we do. But this is where it really all starts. If you want to know if entrepreneurship is right for you, if you want to know what your mission should be after the military, if you want to know if you can create more out of your life, then you need to pick up the book and open it up. And what's really cool is you can go on Amazon right now and pick it up. It's $22.14. You can go on there, read the reviews, buy it full price. That's fine. It's fine with us. But what we want to do is we want to make sure that every single veteran who is serious about creating more in their life and really wants success has no excuse why they can't have it. So if you actually go and get it through our group, we'll buy the book for you as a gift from one veteran to another. All we ask is you cover the shipping cost and we'll send it right to your front door. So we will actually pay the whole $22.14 for you, so you don't have to worry about it. And then you can start getting this knowledge. That's how much we believe in it. Like, even our coaching blows people's minds because it is expensive. But you don't pay us until you get results, because we believe in what we do. we know that if you show up and do what we say, you're going to get those results. Like, it's not really us gambling. We know what we're going to do. As long as you follow the steps and you show up and do the work, you're going to get what's promised, and so are we. And that's why we can say things like that and move forward and have happy customers who are raving about us, is because we know, like, not that we know what we're doing, but it's because we're able to break it down in a way. Break it down in a way that is almost bulletproof.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
awesome.
what I've read so far, because I haven't finished the book just yet, but what I've read, and I love how you put this. Like you said, it's been out there. People share it, and these top earners. I mean, and we can always say like the 1% club of earners. You know, the Warren Buffetts, Dan Peñas, Elon Musk, whoever you coincide with, resonate with, they do the same exact things. But it's not a secret. But it is such a misconception, like that. I personally feel, and this is just me, my opinion, of course, like assholes. Every time any soldier who leaves the military, who's getting out for whatever reason, should get one of these. They should say, here, this is the subject for life. No matter what you do in life, whether you have a job, whether you go to school, whether you start your own business, get one of these and read this, and then come to the classes. Because without this, you have the, and I mean that, I truly mean that, because this is more than just starting a business, entrepreneur. It is, you want to be successful with your relationship in life. You want to be successful in school. You want to be successful with your own personal happiness. No matter what road you go down, this is it. And I truly feel that, because it's just, I mean, one of the first things that I read, the first chapter alone, just says it all starts with the small steps every single day. Just that small stuff, the small changes you make will, it's like cosmetic. You know what I mean? It puts you and boosts you to the future. Like you guys said, and I'm not going to spoil any spoilers, but the one guy listened to some, not motivational speaking, but some personal development, and took a 2-mile walk every day. Then the next guy, you know what I mean? And I was leaving like that. The one guy gained 30 pounds. The other guy lost 15 and is happy in life.
Yeah.
It's the small steps we make every single day that will project, maybe not tomorrow, maybe not next week, maybe not next year, but down the road, this blows up and it will coincide. I mean, me and Zach started this a year ago. And Zach, definitely chime in, man. My table with the cats.
Oh yeah.
On a red laptop.
It all started. It all started in a 2-bedroom apartment.
Yeah.
At a round table with a $20
Middleburg, New
microphone.
York.
$20 microphone and a shitty ass fucking laptop. And,
yeah, I mean, I had to clean that shit out.
We still got the microphone and the shitty ass laptops, but I mean, we're making progress and helping people. So I mean,
I love that you guys brought that up, because it all the time it's like that overnight success mentality. It's like, oh, you know, he's got something special, or he got a lucky break, or this or that. Like, guys, like, I completely relate to what you're saying here. I made my first $12,000 online in my sister's living room, because I was living in her guest room at the time. Like, that's where I was in life. Like that's like, I gave up everything to switch careers. I owned a home, but it was 3 hours away, so I couldn't live in it. So I'm literally staying in my sister's guest room, and I'm building my online business from her living room couch. Like, my first huge check I got was in my sister's home. It wasn't even my own home. Like, we do what we need to do. We bootstrap ourselves because we believe in it. Like, is a calling, right? It becomes bigger than ourselves. And then like, no matter what's going on, no matter how bad the current situation is, we push ourselves through it because we know that this is only temporary. And if we're willing to sacrifice now, we won't have to later.
Absolutely.
Did you guys know that I started OVF with Chris with just a cell phone?
Really?
An old cell phone. Yeah. That's how I started OVF.
For a couple $1,000 he made online, he didn't even have a computer yet.
That's amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But one thing I want to add about what you were saying about finding your purpose again. Once we leave the military, I don't think we we're even aware that we lose this purpose. It is so deep seated for us to depend on other people. I get that when we get out, we feel completely lost and abandoned and very much hurt. At least I did. But I didn't know why. I thought it was just because I was embarrassed about how I got hurt. But that wasn't the case. Whether we want to admit it or not, we are programmed like a cult in the military. And to have that suddenly taken away from us, we need to find a new purpose, but we don't know how to do that. Combined with our military training and us teaching veterans how to find that purpose again, and then for them to build a business around their purpose, passion, and make money from it, that is fucking exciting shit. Yeah. Once they have something that they can build a business around that they love to do, they're no longer working. They're living in a passion while collecting a check, doing what they want. And then they get to automate all the things that they don't want to do so they can focus just on the good stuff that they do want to do, like that hobby or passion that they're monetizing. That is why I love what we do so much.
You know, I always, you find a job you love, you never have to work another day in your life. You know, that's just true. The way it is.
Yeah,
see, that's cliche until you start living it. Yep. Yeah, you hear it over and over, and it's like, yeah, sounds nice, but yeah, okay, whatever. It's not until you start living in that place that you start to really appreciate that full meaning behind it. It's like, that light bulb went off. That does make sense. It resonates with me now. Mm-hmm. I can do this. Yeah. Before it was just a fever dream.
Yeah. It's funny. I love how we're talking about this because I go to work, right? I work part-time. I say part-time, very part-time, less than 20 hours a week down at this little farm. And I'm in the kitchen and I'm making chili and fucking lemon bar, whatever, just all sorts of different shit. Just a little extra cash here and there, you know? And I love going to my job, one, because the owner of this place has the same drive I do. So we have good conversations because he's like, you get it. Like, no one else in this place understands. Like, you get the drive, you get the motivation. And when I got hired there, when I was getting interviewed, they said, why do you want this job? I said, because I like the atmosphere. I said, I don't need this job. I don't need the money. $13.50 an hour is nothing. That's pennies. I said, but I like the atmosphere. Yeah. And I go into work, and it's only a few days a week, but I enjoy going into work and just like pretty much fucking around. Like, to me, like, they're like, oh, can you do some dishes? Sure. Fuck it. And I'm sitting there scrubbing dishes laughing because I know I don't need that money, but at the end of the day, like, it's always nice. But I know my overall goal isn't, oh, I'm going to be a kitchen worker. Like, that was the shit I used to do when I was 16 years old. I've been there, done that. The difference is my mindset going into it and knowing I really don't need to be there, but at the same time, I enjoy being there. But I think in a bigger scope of practice, the way Triggered is going, our trajectory for Triggered, and not even like the merchandise or anything like that, but me and Zach, I know you can contest to this too. When people chime in with our live videos and say, hey, I need help with this, that, or the other. I mean, how many vets have we helped in the past, over the past year? I mean, it's been amazing.
Quite a few.
And the one guy who was telling us he was a World War II vet, Zach, you want to jump in on that one? When we were down at Creekside, when he said how he was loading
he was 104s. The loading, yeah. He was loading those by hand. I mean, he was what, 16, 17 at the time?
Yeah.
He was saying. And he did what, 25 years?
Yeah.
I believe so. I believe he did 25 years. I posted the video on my Facebook page, on the Triggered page, but it was just, the story was just amazing. I can't remember the whole story, but he was telling bits and pieces on what he was doing, you know, loading the cannons, you know, lifting those up just by one hand, throwing them over his shoulder, and just digging in and driving on.
Yeah.
It was amazing. And then, you know, Tony's buddy that was up in the 10th mountain wondering, you know, whether he should stay in or get out.
Whether he should re-enlist or not.
You know, should just trying to, because he wanted to know, like, should I re-up for my 5, you know, or should I get out now? And just helping people in that sense, you know, not telling him what to do, but giving him options that he has all the way around. It is such a good feeling to do. Like I said, not making the decision for him, but and then we had Sergeant Savage. He got hung up in some shit. I'm not going to get too deep into it to respect him, but some lady put some shit out there that he was doing, which was total bullshit. He got jammed up in a case. He was trying to get out of the military and become a state trooper, and he was just depressed every single day, every single hour.
His whole career was on the fritz of this one case. You know, 20-something years.
Yeah, 20 plus years in the military, and he looked at somebody and she just wanted to have attention, and she put a case against him. Everything came out good, and he moved on, so which is still good. I'm still in contact with him. I message him every once in a while. Yeah,
he's doing good shit out there. Big ups to him. It's just crazy how again, like you guys said, you know, you go through you go through the military, you go through your careers with it, and then one little thing can happen, and then boom, you know, a simple pothole for me to blow my knee out. You know, digging trenches. It doesn't matter where you were in that position. It's just that one small thing that can just knock you right out, and then you're lost. You don't know where to go. And then once the VA gives you all these meds and, you know, gives you that number, that disability out, and okay, I'm getting this much per month, whatever, but then you're lost. You don't know what to do. Then I know, especially with me, with all the meds I was on, I'm going to say I was on a lot of pills, just like a lot of other vets. You don't know how to feel. You don't know what to feel. You've lived this life for so long, and then there's nothing left. And that's one thing that I love about this book as well, is that it's just, hey, there's something there for you. There's a reason. There's a purpose. There's a mission. Like, let's get it. Like, pick up your ruck and follow me. You know, as that old cadence says, you know, it's here. We got you. We still got your 6. We're still here. Let's do this. You know, you're not alone.
100%.
Hey, Chris, do you want to help him see if he's got a limited edition copy?
Oh, Tony, hold the side of your book up. Let me see the binding of it.
Let me try to.
L-I. No, you're right.
It's glue.
No, that's right. So the first,
you see how many names messed up?
People right there.
The first 100 copies that went out, Liam's name was spelt wrong. So
Really?
they're limited edition now.
Oh my God! I see that now.
No joke.
That's amazing.
The first 100 copies that we sold, we didn't sell them. We bought them for people basically. But the first 100 copies that went out all had Liam's name spelled wrong until people finally noticed.
So those all became limited edition copies.
Yeah,
I love it.
That's awesome.
I love it.
You know, I think another reason why, and if we got time, I just want to touch on this really quick.
Yeah, we got.
Yeah, go ahead.
Man, we got the rest of the night. I got 7 minutes. Actually, I'll say 6 minutes left on this segment.
Yeah.
But again, we can roll segments all day long, man.
So another reason why we chose a book is because books are a huge part of Liam and I's life. It's like we bond on a lot of different things: movies, military, business, our drive to help veterans. But one of the things that me and him are like constantly talking about is self-improvement, educating ourselves, self-education. Like, what books are we reading? And I'll tell you right now, I've invested well over $50,000 in courses, mentorship, education, and it's all been well worth it. Well worth it. But
they all pay off.
I always get my return, right? With whatever information I get from that course, that mentor, I apply it into what I'm doing, and it 10x is my income. So it always is worth it to me. I maybe bought one course where I didn't do anything with it, right? Like I'm pretty driven when it comes to that. So for me though, what I have found is that like when I really started reading every single day, not just reading, because I've always liked books to escape, like Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit and stuff like that. Like I'd always read. But when I started really reading to improve myself, that's when my life really started to change. You know, when I was in mobile auto glass, I reached out to a buddy of mine here in Arizona. He owns one of the largest pressure washing companies in the whole state. Very, very successful. And we were just starting out. And so I reached out to him and I said, hey, can we sit down, you know, pick your brain for like 15 minutes? I'd love to hear anything you could give us to really help us out.
Absolutely.
The only thing that he gave us a lot of really great tips on business, but like the only thing that I walked away from that conversation that I was actually ready to hear and took action on was read, Think and Grow Rich. He said, if you have not read that book yet, do yourself a huge favor, read it front to back. Read every last word. And then you'll understand much better what I'm talking about. And I read that book, and I'm no exception, right? Most of everybody I talk to these days, that's like the book that started them down the road, right? That's like the first business and personal development mixture that most people get.
I just wrote that down too, by the way.
Dude, I gotta
read that shit.
Yeah, so I've got books that I will tell you right now that I've read at least a half a dozen times, and they're like gospel to me. Like these books are things that I know that the better I get at them, the better my life becomes, my income, my relationships, my ability to communicate. Because guys, you got to remember, like me talking to you right now, it would blow your mind if I showed you a video of me even 3 years ago. Like I've worked really, really hard at becoming a really good communicator because I wasn't a really good communicator. Like my TBI, my memory, like it stopped me from having high level intelligent conversations, or at least I believed it did. But I changed some beliefs and I started to really dive into educating myself. And now I can do these things. But Liam will tell you, and anybody who's been around me long enough, like, am I cured? No, that is not what I am saying. There are still moments where I'll be mid-sentence and I will forget everything that's in my brain. It just goes away, right? It's part of the TBI. Yeah. I get it. And I got amazing people like Liam who can bring me back on track, or the audience, or whatever it might be. But none of that would be possible if I just, sat back and waited for success to come to me, or bought courses and never did anything with them, or heard about an amazing book that changed someone's life and didn't go buy it and read it and take action on it, right? So I believe truly that I'm a culmination of all the mentorship and books and self-education that I put myself through in these last almost 5 years now, and if I could recommend some books to you guys, like that could definitely change everything for you, it would definitely be Think and Grow Rich. It would be A Happy Pocket Full of Money. Let's see what else we got over here. This one right here.
My Bible.
The 12-Week Year. This book is the whole reason I had success as fast as I did. Because the idea, and I'll just briefly break it down. The idea behind this book is that as human beings, we are driven by urgency, scarcity, and deadlines. If you have a project that's due in a week, you're going to get that shit done. But if it's due in a month, you're going to take your time, right? You're going to lull it out instead of getting it done with urgency. This book allows you to take 12 months and turn it into 12 weeks. So technically, you have every quarter is a year. It's a really, really powerful book. And when you implement it properly, it really speeds up everything for you.
That's awesome.
Hey, Donald, what's my Bible?
Atomic Habits. Atomic Habits by James Clear. I actually just watched his Ed Milet interview today. Just watched him today. But if you guys don't know about Atomic Habits by James Clear, Liam and I worship that book. If you ever wanted to figure out why you tick and do the things you do and wanted to have an actionable, like Barney style game plan to change those habits, that's the book.
Awesome. So we got about 30 seconds left on this segment. If you guys are okay, we'll keep going.
Just one more book. Grab the magic.
I gotta put my daughter to sleep, so
Okay.
I got a couple more minutes. So
No, I mean, and we went an hour, so that's fine. With like we all have some other things we have to do. But I will leave you on one last book. This book may seem trivial. It may not have anything to do with business, but it has everything to do with you and your life. It's called The Magic. And everybody that I know who's successful practices gratitude. And all the magic is again, Barney style. I love Barney style stuff. It's how I learn. Barney style book that breaks down a 28-day gratitude practice and tells you exactly what to do every day for 28 days to get the most out of it. I still have a journal that I write in every day because of it. Like, it's a huge
now, what's the book called again?
The Magic.
The Magic. Okay.
And if you're inside of the OVF group, if you go into our guide section, you have our business training, our mindset training, our digital marketing training, all our testimonials. Right below the testimonials is our book section. And you can actually get a free PDF download of Think and Grow Rich and The Magic right there. All you have to do is click it and download it. We give it to you guys. It's like, we're not charging you, obviously, because we don't own the rights to them. Think and Grow Rich actually has no rights to it anymore. It's so old. But we definitely want to make sure that people can get this knowledge. And so we want to share the PDF version with everybody who would like to learn it and take action on it. So,
well, I will be right back. You guys definitely keep talking. I love these books. I love people always talk about how, watch this, do this, but books are the key of success. I feel
100%. Your habits. First, you make your habits, and then your habits make you, which is why habits is such a huge thing for us. And one of the biggest habits that we've ever taken on is reading every day. And I'm a huge Audible fan too. Like I have, if I have it in hard copy, I also have it in Audible. So I like to listen to it and I do both. But yeah, I mean books and we're actually, I don't want to ruin anything, but we're actually in the process of writing our second book. We won't tell you what it is or what it's about, but it's going to be a little bit thicker than this one. This one's got your starter guide basically.
Okay.
And then the next one's going to go much, much deeper. So it's going to be fun.
Now that book's on Amazon, you said?
Yeah, you can go right on to Amazon and grab it. But if you're a member of the OVF Facebook group, we have a link in there. That you get it for shipping. So instead of paying $22.14, you pay the $9.97 shipping, and you get it basically half price if you look at it that way.
Yes, I definitely say it. They say, Zach, you need a beard too.
Yeah.
He does grow a good beard, though. I gotta say, I
do grow a good beard, but I'm also interior firefighter, so I have to. Keep it.
There you go.
I love my beards, but I can't.
I didn't have
right now.
But yeah, man, I'm excited for the second book. This is gonna be great. Again, Zach, I'll let you definitely borrow this book, man. It's phenomenal.
I'm gonna buy it.
Yeah, definitely.
I got all these books listed down. So.
Yep. If anyone has not checked out their Facebook page, definitely go to facebook.com/group/Operation Veteran Freedom. Guys, where else can they get you at? I know we talked about Amazon, but where else?
So the primary platforms that we promote on are YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok. So all you got to do is type in OVF community or OVF, and it'll pull us up on any one of those platforms. We have, we stream live trainings every Thursday. Those trainings go onto YouTube, so you can watch replays. You can join us live on Thursdays. Those are very much how to get your business started, how to start getting traction online, how to, get some leads, get some things rolling for yourself. And those are our Thursday night trainings. But again, primarily, we spend a lot of time inside of our group. We've been cultivating and growing that community now for over a year. We have some rock star amazing members, and we love spending time with them. So if you really want to get to know us and get to feel our community out and see what we're all about, then that's the best way to really get in the community. It's free to join. You can go through a lot of our trainings and see what we're about, and when you're ready, we can definitely help you to take your business wherever you want to go. That's what we specialize in, taking your existing business and bringing it into the digital age and showing you how to get leads and sales and automate that online. That's our specialty.
Now, for you guys too, I just noticed there's a Facebook user here saying, "Are these books on Kindle? Do you guys have them on Kindle yet?"
So the book right now, if you go through the link inside of the OVF group, you can get a digital copy, and you can also get the Audible version of the book. However, if you go to Amazon, the only way you could purchase it is hard copy. We reserve what we call the digital bundle for our group members. So if you're a group member, you'll get access to it. All you got to do is follow the link, and it'll tell you exactly what to do. But other than that, it's hard copy only.
I love hard copy books. I don't know. I'm kind of old like that. It's weird, like just taking them, just smelling them. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know, something about paper and words and weird shit like that. But no, hard copy is always good. But yeah, definitely hop on, check out their Facebook page, guys. I mean, what I've learned so far just since I've hopped on OVF has been amazing. It's like taking a battery and just jumpstarting me. I mean, it's so exciting. And, you know, they always say, like you were saying before, a lot of people jump on, it's like, oh, it's a pyramid scheme, whatever. No, it's not. Like, this is so exciting. I have not been this excited in a long time about something like this. I've gone down those pyramid schemes, the energy companies, all the other stuff.
Yeah.
This is nothing like that. Like, you guys pretty much say, this is up to you guys. If you want to be successful, here's the road to follow.
Yeah.
If you want to go off, well, okay, go off-roading, but it's not going to be as much fun.
Yeah, we teach universal skills, techniques, and methods that can be applied to any business. That's what
Exactly.
we teach. And what's beautiful about it is because it can be applied to any business, we apply it to affiliate offers, right? So like I have a water ionizer that I started about 3 years ago that I still get paid for till this day. I've got a CBD company that I completely hands-off, fully automated that I still get paid for every single week. Like I apply what I know into the marketplace and make myself money with it. And then we use those same skills to teach veterans to do the same exact thing, right? Like that's one thing that I think is like, to toot our own horn for just 1 second. I think it's the one thing that separates us from everybody else is that there's a lot of people out there that can read a book and teach you a theory. There's a lot of people out there who could repeat what they've heard. But there is not a lot of people out there that are actively in the trenches using what they teach to actually get them results. And that's why we're different.
Yes.
Not only are we in the trenches every day, but we've got plenty of people with results who we've taught in the trenches with us. And that's why I believe, again, for a humble brag, if you will, let me, that we are different. Like we get results for ourselves and our students. Like we're not just a professor teaching you some theory.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's been amazing. Again, like from what I've learned, from what I've read. And again, Zach, you know, I know you said you're hopping on, grabbing the book. If you haven't hopped on their site yet, I mean, guys, definitely got to check this stuff out. It is no joke, no BS, the real deal. It's, I mean, just check your bank accounts. That's all I got to say. That at the end of the day, that's what comes out to. Check your bank accounts. You know?
What I
yeah,
think
guys,
is
thank
better
you
for
so
us
much.
now is that like, yeah, like
Oh, go ahead, man.
one thing that I've learned is that like having success for yourself and making good money is awesome, right? It's great, but no one fucking cares. No one.
Right.
Like most people, when they hear that, they're like, oh, good for you. Or like, it's usually a negative thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Unless they're also creating success, and then they usually will root you on. But the big
Right.
thing, oh shoot, there it goes. What was I just saying?
Ultimate success.
Before
And
that,
how money doesn't count.
Nobody gives a fuck about you making money, being successful.
they don't. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. See,
Yep.
I'm not cured, but I'm much better.
I do the same
No one
thing,
really
man.
cares about you making money. It's when you can show them that other people are doing it. That's when they start paying attention, right? Because in their mind, it's, oh, they're special, or oh, Bob, like they can make a million excuses.
Yep.
But when I'm doing it, and then Liam's doing it, and then Chris Wilson's doing it, and then Joe Walters is doing it, and then like Andre's like, and you have Marine and Navy and Air Force and Army, and one's combat arms and one military intelligence and one's disabled, and like you have all these different experiences and backgrounds and all these different types, but they're all creating results. And now when you see that, now that's irrefutable evidence. Now that's irrefutable facts. You have to say to yourself, okay, if they're doing it, I can do it too. It's way different than just saying, well, I'm good, check my bank account. Like I can show you that, but at the end of the day, it's going to piss more people off than it's going to excite them or get them motivated. When I start talking about, or I bring on Chris Wilson, and he starts talking about his bank account, now we're talking. Now it's a whole different equation, right? And yeah, he has a lot more in his bank than we do. The dude's like a phenomenal businessman. But at the end of the day, you have to share other people's success.
Yeah.
Otherwise, no one's going to care.
Well, like they say, you know, too, just the military side, you know, your platoon sergeant can be top notch in PT, but if his whole platoon is a bunch of shitbags, that don't mean nothing. You know, there's no driving force there. So you gotta have your whole squad, your whole platoon, your whole company at top notch, because if not, they're not gonna call on you.
Yeah.
So that's awesome, man. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. I mean, again, I know me and Zach were saying season 2 is going to be a whole different ball game of what we've done. We're bringing on new guests and everything. But I mean, like I said, you know, we're family and stuff, Chris. But like at the end of the day, like facts are facts. I mean, these are things that veterans need. We need to get this stuff done. We need to get people to hear these stories. We need to hear there is a light at the end of the tunnel for vets. It's not just, okay, here's your DD-214. Have a good day. There's something more to live for. And Liam, thank you so much for sharing your story too, man. I mean, that resonates with so many people. I know myself, especially being part of 10th Mountain. They say, you know, 10th Mountain breaks soldiers, but I feel, yes, I mean, in theory, physically it does. But at the same time, like, it's just one of those things that we're not alone. We're not shitbags. We did our time. So, I mean, dude, being with your background, your MOS, and what you've come through and all that stuff, that's such a great motivational story for myself personally. Thank you so much, man. I mean, you guys are definitely going to be on again. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
Yeah. And we'll have you. I'm kicking off my show, so I'll definitely have you guys out on mine.
Absolutely. Hit us up. Guys, thank you so much. As Zach and me always say, stay triggered.
Stay triggered. We'll see you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.